Okay guys, what's up? I am back. It's been about, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks since I showed a picture of the Z1 with the dual battery setup, and I've been getting lots of questions. People want videos. How did I do it? How did I do it? So today we're going to show you how we did that. We added a second battery onto the Z1 to go ahead and double the range. Now this battery pretty much matches the size and the amp hour and everything that's in here already, so we doubled our range. Before we were getting, 14 to 16 miles out of it. And this is my stepdaughter's bike. I don't really ride it. Too small and underpowered for me personally, but it's great for her. And before, like I said, we were getting 14 to 16 miles. Now we're getting well over 25. We went on a good, 20-mile ride the other day. Switched to the second battery. It was great. It's so nice going out and riding and not having to worry about if you have enough battery to make it home. And when you do this battery mod, there's no splicing, no cutting, nothing really major, and everything works. You still get your battery indicator lights up here, the throttle still works, nothing changes. This is very, very simple mod, you guys. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get this bike torn apart. I'll show you how to do that and how to add the second battery. Now, as far as the second battery goes, as long as this is a 36-volt battery, you will be fine. The amp hour, you can go as big as you want. You can go all the way up to a 20 amp hour if you'd like. You can overvolt electric bikes. I haven't done it to the Z1. I haven't jumped it up to a 48-volt battery, so I don't know how it would take it. But on other bikes I have done that. I've done it on the OG that we have sitting over here, the red one. I've done it on my downhill mountain bike that I made. That's a 48-volt system on that. And I jump it up to 52 volts. And then you guys know my Black Mario back here. Everything on it's 52 volts, but it's made for that. So anyways, today I'm going to show you how to add this dual battery. And in the next video, here's another one that has been talked about a lot in the forums and on the Facebook pages is the speed hack for the Z1. I've seen pictures of it, people saying that it worked, but I've never seen an actual video of it. So that will be the next video I do, guys. I'm going to show you how to rip apart this controller, clip the wire that they say increases the speed or takes the speed limit off, and they're getting like 24, 25 miles an hour out of it as opposed to 19 to 20. You will use a little bit more battery doing that, but we're gonna find out if it actually works, and I will GPS everything, instead of just saying it works or showing my wheels spinning in the air. We'll show an actual road test before and after that. So make sure you come back for that video. And like every other YouTuber says, hit that like button and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell if you guys like the content that I'm doing here. I've gained some new subscribers. I think I've gained over 100 subscribers in the past few weeks, and I appreciate the new subscribers, and I really appreciate the old subscribers. I'm going to be trying to do a lot more content lately with the whole COVID thing going on. So, and I do have a new bike coming up, and I don't know if you'll notice me limping around, but I got a broken foot right now. There is a story behind that, and I gotta wait till the legal ramifications of that are over, so then I can go ahead and share it with you guys. But it's quite the crazy story. So anyways, enough rambling. Let's get into this video. Let's show you guys how to dual battery your Z1. And like I said, it'd be great. I'll leave an email in my description below. If you guys want to get a battery through me, it'd be much appreciated. I make a little bit of money off of it. Or you can get them off Amazon or eBay or anything like that. So, okay, so besides the battery, what you're gonna need for tools on this, very simple. Phillips screwdriver, a number 3mm Allen wrench, a couple of zip ties, and some wire cutters. And that's all you're gonna need. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and show you how to take the Z1 apart and make this battery mod. Once you have the bike flipped upside down like I got here, there's 4 screws to undo to get the seat and everything out of the way, and you gotta undo the power wire that runs to the wheel. So here's the first 2 screws that you take apart on the front here. You can see those there. That one's tucked a little bit behind there. You take those 2 out, and then there are 2 here on the back, and if you guys don't have a fender on, it'd be a little bit easier. Mine's kind of tough to get to with that fender on. So now that I showed you those 4 screws to take apart, let's go ahead and get those off. And on the back, because the fender's in the way, I just use a little stubby screwdriver to get in there. makes it a little bit easier. It's still kind of a pain in the butt. I just kind of push the fender around and manipulate it so I can get the screwdriver in there to get at those screws. Make sure you save all the little pieces that come out with it. You can see there's a washer and a little black spacer. Keep track of that stuff. Same on that side. Okay, so once we have that taken apart, what I do is I go ahead and engage the back brake and flip the bike back over right side up. And the reason I engage the back brake is that way the tire doesn't roll until I get to here. And I release the back brake and just roll it and use the back brake to help settle it down. And then this is where we need our wire cutters. So you got to go ahead and clip these couple of zip ties here that are holding the wire to the motor. And then you go ahead and we're going to unscrew this keeper here, or this attachment here that connects the controller to the rear hub motor. This just simply twists apart. There you have it. And there's pretty much only one way this will go back together, guys, so don't worry about that. So once you got the motor connection taken apart, what you're going to want to do is make this disconnect up here that runs to your brake cutoff switches and throttle. So grab your zip tie or your cutters, cut this zip tie here, and just simply pop this plug apart. There's one more zip tie here. And now we are free to go ahead and pull this off. Okay, so once you got everything disconnected, all the screws are off. Bear in mind there are some little white spacers under the seat when you pull this up. And the trick to pulling this up is because you got your motor wire over here, right? That comes out of the side of the controller. So what you want to do is you want to grab it, the seat here, you want to wiggle it up, and then roll it towards the side with the motor cable, and just wiggle it out. And it just comes right out, and this is what we have. And I will show you those little white spacers that I'm talking about. One just fell on my foot. So there are, one of mine rolled away, I'll have to find it, but here's three of the little spacers, and those go in between the seat and the first 4 screws that you took out of the bike. So try to keep track of those as well. So now that we got the seat taken apart, as you can look in here, there's 7 screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to go ahead and pull those out, and then we're going to go ahead and separate the controller box or whatever, the controller battery box, from the seat. And this is where you're going to need your Phillips screwdriver, and just go ahead and start removing these 7 screws. And just when you're taking stuff apart, guys, if you have a hard time, or maybe you're not very good at taking things apart or working on things, don't be afraid to take pictures of how things come apart or what screws go where. No shame in that, as long as you get it back together correctly and then you have a job done, well done. That's what matters. So we're getting our last screw out here, and then we will show you the next step, which is very, very simple. Alright, we got our 7 screws out. So this just separates. Slide the seat out of the way. You flip this over. And here's the inside of the control box. So this is an aluminum case around the controller. Here's our battery. Here's all our wires here. So this is all I do. This is very simple. Like I said, there's no cutting, no splicing, no anything like that. So on the opposite side of the motor wire, all I've been doing is I take this wire right here and I just set it outside, and then I put the seat back on with these outside of the bike. That way you can unplug the battery and plug the controller harness into the secondary battery that you install on your bike. That's really all I do. So we'll go ahead and leave this connected here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw the seat back together. Now if you guys want to cut a hole in it and make it outside, or cut a little slit here and here to make it a little bit cleaner, that's fine. I'm choosing not to do so just in case we decide to sell the bike sometime, I can just put it back together stock. So you just put the seat back on. As you can see, I got the wire hanging out there. You know, some guys will say it doesn't look clean. You could take a piece of Velcro and stuck it up, but I'm not too fussy about it. I'm more worried about the range than the actual look of a couple of wires. So we'll go ahead and line this up and put it back together. And it's not really going to pinch the wires. The plastic is going to give a little bit. It's not going to pinch them to the point where it's going to break anything. And when you tighten this one here where you got the screw, where you got the wire coming out, you might have to just give it a little pinch just to help it tighten a little bit. But I don't go crazy tight on that. As you can see, you can wiggle the wires around so that way it's not pinching it. So I'm going to tighten my last screw here. Then we're going to go ahead and put this back on the bike. Okay, and just like we took it off, we did this part last. We pulled this side away from the bike last. We're going to put this side of the bike, or this side of the controller box, into the bike first. So all you want to do is set it like this, tuck in your motor wires, and you just put it at a little bit of an angle, and you just kind of got to work it back and forth and push down on it a little bit. Plops right back into place. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and button this up. I'm going to put my spacers back underneath and put the 4 screws back in. Then I'll show you how to install the new battery. Okay, now that we have everything, the seat screwed back down and everything, I haven't hooked up the throttle, brake wire, or the motor wire. I'm going to show you how to install the second battery before we do that. And so when you get your battery, it comes with everything you need, especially if you get it from me. It'll come with these Anderson connectors. That's what these are called, and that's what the Z1 has on it. This is called an Anderson connector. And it key locks on, and this is your battery mounting plate. So we're gonna go ahead and mount this to the bike and then install the battery. And the battery, it does come with your mounting hardware, and this is where you're gonna need your 3mm Allen key to go ahead and install these. So let's get that put on the bike and slide the battery into position, then we'll show you how you swap it back and forth. I mean, it's pretty simple. Then we'll clean it up with a couple zip ties. So as you notice right here, this is for a cup holder or the Z1 mud flap or whatever, or the splash guard. The battery mount will go right there. So we're going to go ahead and screw that on into those already pre-existing holes. So just tighten these down a little bit. They don't have to be extremely tight, just nice and snug, so this isn't wiggling around anywhere. So let's get the battery and place it into position. Okay, so when you get your battery and you're ready to install it, make sure you have the key, because you're going to want to lock your battery into place so it doesn't come off while you're riding. Set it on there. Slide it up, lock it into position, and there you go. Now the battery, it does have an indicator light on how full it is. So if you push here, you gotta have the battery turned on. Push here, it gives you an indicator light on your battery. So all I do now is I got this wire here that comes off the battery. I go ahead and tuck it in with the stock Z1 wires, and I run it right up to here. That way you can get from the controller wire to this second battery, and that's how you have dual batteries. So I'm gonna go ahead and button this up, and then I'll show you guys how it works. So when you guys are putting this wire back together here, if you look really close, there's an arrow on each one. Just go ahead and line the arrows up and push that back together, and then start grabbing some zip ties and zip tying your wires back. Wondering what this wire is? This is for an aftermarket headlight. After you get your second zip tie on here on the mounting place, I go ahead and run a zip tie around the bike itself right here to keep that motor wire up, because if you go here, it just makes it a real pain in the butt to get to. So I just go ahead and put one here, clip these off clean. Now we'll do the motor wire. And same thing on the motor wire, you just go ahead and line it up. push it back together, and then just secure it. Then we take a zip tie, and there we go. Clip that off clean. Okay, so as you can see here, we got this out here. I know it looks a little ghetto. I mean, you guys can do it a little bit cleaner. I'm just kind of giving you the once over, showing you how I do it, because I'm not that concerned about it hanging out. More concerned about the range than I am about the looks of a couple wires. So as you can see, if you turn the bike on, turn it on here, I'll show you. As you can see that it still works. That's off the stock battery. And here's the motor. So we'll go ahead and come back over here. And what I do, I always turn off the bike when I switch batteries. Just, I don't know if it's necessary. The Anderson connectors are not anti-spark, but there's not a lot of volts here, so if you forget to do it, no big deal. So I go ahead and turn the bike off, make sure this battery down here is off, unplug these connectors, and I just swing it right back around here, red to red, black to black, plug it in, turn the battery on, turn it on up here. As you can see, that battery is full. Come over here to the motor, lean it on its side. There you go, guys. Dual batteries on the Z1. Well, I hope this was helpful for you guys on figuring out how to run a dual battery. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys come up with to tuck your wires through, if you guys get creative with it or whatever. But I hope this helps you guys get some extra range out of your bikes, because I know it is no fun being out there riding, going, oh man, can I make it back? How much further can I go? Am I gonna run out of battery? That takes the fun out of it, if you ask me. Every one of my bikes, other than my downhill bike, is dual battery. The OG, my Mario, the new bike that I got that is related to this situation that I mentioned earlier in the video, I have a double battery for that. So anyways, guys, consider subscribing to my channel, hit that like button, leave some comments down below what you guys think of this dual battery idea. And like I said, if you guys come up with a better way to run the wires a little bit cleaner, share it in the comments, share it with everybody, or share it, join the forum on Facebook. It's Super 73 Mods on Facebook. Pretty easy to find, great group, a lot of people in there. So anyways, until the next video, which, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to go ahead and do the speed mod. So we're going to go ahead and take this apart again, show you which wire to cut, and then we're going to do some comparison tests and see if we get some more speed out of this thing. Alright guys, well, happy riding. Get out, get your exercise, even though we're on quarantine or whatever you guys want to call it. So anyways, see you guys in the next video.